Hello there and welcome back to my channel. In this video I've purchased another project, another broken project. It was a Facebook group that I bought it from. Basically it was having problems with starting it, initially intermittent issues with running, cutting out, lack of power. And then I think it just cut out one day and then basically couldn't start it again. So here it is behind me and let's get into it. Please remember, if you haven't already, subscribe, comment down below, say I've subscribed or something, comment, like. Let's have a look at this car. Okay, so here it is. It is a Rover 416 GTI. So it's a 1991 on a J-Reg. It has been painted, you'll see in a minute, but it's an Audi grey. I don't actually know what colour it is. It would be handy to find out what colour it is, to be honest. So I believe it's run out of MOT at the moment. So this is exactly how it's been delivered to me, like this, off the back of a truck. I bought it blind off of Facebook. I have never seen the car. I wasn't even here. I purchased it while I was away on holiday. I actually purchased 2 cars and an engine while I was away on holiday. That's just the kind of stuff that I do. So this is the first time that I'm actually having a look around it. So the bodywork actually is in not bad condition. Someone's fitted some leather seats, and obviously the rear's standard velour. So I think there's a bit of rust. Common problem on these, but it hasn't gone yet. So that will be tidied, rust proofed, rust treated, and just tidied and painted. So it's been debadged. It's got a back box on it of some kind. It's a little bit worse, but it being painted probably saved it, to be honest. An extra layer of protection. I'm not quite sure why they go in there, because there's no mud in there. So the roof looks actually a bit dull, but I just don't know if that's just because it just needs buffing or the paint's gone. I'm not sure. But actually needs a wash, obviously. But it's not too bad condition-wise. So this is a D16 engine, not quite sure of the exact code, twin cam. So I believe they put these in the GTIs, just the normal 1.6s of these age were only single cam Honda engines, 16 valves but just single cam. So I haven't really had a chance to really have a look over this, to be honest with you. It looks like it's been relatively well maintained. Some kind of aftermarket alarm, which I haven't touched. It's got a bow selector, air filter on it. I've taken the battery off and I've charged it. So inside you got your typical Rover. I'm assuming the door cards have been changed, because I'm assuming they were with this cream colour originally, and the headlining has all been sort of stapled up and stuff. Again, it's becoming common on these. So we got 89,000 miles. There are just some paperwork with it and stuff. Receipts and invoices. I think it's had the clutch done and the cam belt done recently. I'm not quite sure what that is. Someone's missing a part of the Hoover or something. Wiring for an amp there. It's missing the spare wheel. Oh my god. So the issues with this car, I'm just trying to remember what they told me when they sold it. They said it was misfiring under load. They had serviced it, changed the fuel filter, it was a bit better, and it would do it occasionally, and then it started doing it more and more, and then one day it cut out and it wouldn't start again, so that was it. They gave up with it. So that's where we are now. So what I need to do now is bung the battery on it, see whether we're hearing things like fuel pump. I think it's fuel pump. I think the fuel pump is giving out. It's weak and it's not providing enough fuel pressure. That's what I think that it is, but I haven't really looked into it. So based on what he said, and he changed the fuel filter and then it was better for a bit, and then it done it again. So these ones suffer from relays, the main engine relay, but normally they'll either work or they don't. But it could be that is actually breaking up. I don't know. I think it's behind the radio on these. So, and also on these, the ECU is under the passenger footwell, and it doesn't have any diagnostics as such. It just has a flashing light. So the codes are in terms of flashes, so you have to count the flashes, and then you have to look up what those flashes mean, if there are any codes in the ECU. That's how you read these. So let me get on and see if I can get it started, because I need to move it. I need to have a bit of a shuffle around the cars and stuff, because I've got another car coming soon and I haven't got anywhere to put it. So let's get on with this. Okay, so I've put the battery on. I was waiting for the alarm to go off, but apparently it doesn't have one. So the Rover alarm, that is. Obviously it's a bit early for that. This doesn't have a cat. It's too early, 1991. So let's see what happens. Oh. Okay. That's interesting. It's got fuel in it as well, look. Amazing. Starts, runs, and then cuts out. Right. I can hear the fuel pump. The fuel pump is running. That sounds ignition related to me. Distributor. Okay, so it literally starts and cuts out, and when it does actually run, you can use the throttle to try and rev it up, but it just misfires and cuts out, and it just cuts out. But the interesting thing was, you can start it, it'll start perfect, it'll run, and then it'll just cut out. So that would lead me to believe that it is electrical. In that hole there's a little LED, and when you turn the ignition on, if there's any codes, it will flash a number of times for what it is. And I am getting 2 codes. I'm getting 7 flashes, then a gap, then 9 flashes, then 7, then 9. And that relates to the throttle body, which I unplugged, and the distributor, which I unplugged. So that's why they're flashing, but that's not telling me anything in particular. All down the spark plug holes, they all look fine. You know, there's no corrosion, greenness, gunkiness, there's no water in there. I've checked all of these and they're all fine. So I haven't really found anything. I think these are really reliable because this is the coil, the distributor and the crank and cam sensor, I believe, which are all in one unit. That's how the Hondas do it. So in here, this is the coil, and this is where the HT, the spark, comes out, which goes into the distributor cap, which goes into there. So the ignition, high potential ignition goes into there, and then it basically goes to this like a normal distributor, which then goes to the middle of the distributor cap, and then down here, which you can't really see, there you can, there's a little piece of metal, and it's that distributes the spark to each of these 4 metal prongs, which are the HT leads, which go to the... So basically this is connected to the end of the camshaft, so when this rotates with the engine, this gives the engine ECU where top dead centre is, or wherever it needs to set the spark. I don't know whether this is the cams, this is the cam, and this is just a crank sensor. I'm not which they would call a crank sensor, which isn't a crank sensor, but I can't remember what you would call it because it's not crank sensor. It's just, can't think of the word. So yeah, this is ignition module, distributor, all in one. All I can do for now is I've cleaned this terminal here. This was all filled with like black goo, oil, or I don't know what it was. It might have been carbon. There's a bit of oil around here, so I don't know if something's leaking inside there. And I've cleaned all of those bits and that bit in the middle. So I've just cleaned it all up, brake cleaned it all clean. I'm going to put it back together and see whether it makes any difference. I don't think it's going to, because it just seems so random where it will work, it will idle when it idles perfectly, and then it will just cut out. So that would suggest to me that there is an intermittent electrical issue. I'll have to do a lot more investigation. So when it puts back together, I'll try it, but I don't believe that's going to have done anything. I have also tried to, while it is running, spraying brake clean straight into that, but it still cuts out, just in case it is a fuel issue, but I don't think it is. Right, so that's all 3 bolts. One there, and there's one underneath. You have to do it by feel. Yeah, so I'll put it all back together. I'm going to try it, but I don't think it's going to make any difference. That's interesting. It doesn't even want to start at all now. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Does that mean whatever it is I've made worse or better? Okay, well that would suggest to me that it is definitely something to do with that distributor, wouldn't it? Let's check for codes again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so 7 and 9. So they're the original 2 codes that I had. Due to unplugging those 2 things. Okay, a bit of update on this. I took it apart, put it back together again, didn't make any difference. I thought I would check for spark. I just took one of these out, put a spare spark plug in it, put it on a no spark. I'll take the dizzy cap off again, because obviously the way that this works, the spark is produced out of this. So I've got a bit of wire, put it in there, and then basically put that to earth. And I got the odd spark, but not as big as I was expecting it to be, and then it stopped. I've also earthed the engine to the battery as well, just in case there was a problem with the main earth from the battery, or from the engine to the body. So I'm still getting no spark from the HT leads. I'm not convinced that's a powerful enough spark. I'm going to have to investigate. I might take that off and have a look inside, see if there's any corrosion in there, see if I can clean. Otherwise I've got to get a replacement distributor. Right, after doing a bit of investigation last night, I've ordered a new cap and rotor arm because it looks like it's due anyway. I'm going to take this off and I'm going to check it, because it might be, you can get these coils. So I'm going to take this off. So we've got two plugs here. The round one, you just pull out that little plastic tab and that pulls out, and then the same with that one, pull out that little plastic tab and that just pulls out. So these stay with the distributor, and there should be a bolt here, a bolt down there, and a bolt down there, but those two are missing, so it's just this one. So because the location of this adjusts the timing, the ignition timing, I've marked it. So I'm just going to undo that bolt, pull this off, and then I can actually test the coil properly then. There's a couple other things I can check as well. So basically we need to check the continuity between these two pins and this pin and there and the other pin and there. So we've got plus and minus. So obviously these are the trigger wires for the coil, for the HT, high tension, the output. Okay, so I've got this off the car. We've got these two contacts here, plus and minus, which held on these two little screws. These were tight, and you need a proper fitting screwdriver, otherwise you're just going to mash them up. So according to what I found out, between this pin and this pin we should be looking between 0.6 and 0.8 ohms, and between the positive and the HT and the negative and the HT we need between 13 and 19 kilo ohms. Okay, so basically I've got 13, so I don't think it's the coil. That looks like it's fine to me. And then going in the other one, we've got 9, so that's our 0.6 to 0.8, there or thereabouts. Well, I thought I might as well just take a look inside, why not, eh? So 4 bolts take the coil out, 2 at the top, 2 at the other 2 underneath these, in through there, and that underneath, which is a right pain in the arse because you have to move that cable out of the way. But this, which I think is the igniter, that doesn't look too healthy, does it? And what is all of this? Surely that's not right. This goes in here, and that slides in behind there, and you get 2 bolts. So I guess I need to find out how to test this. Okay, so what I've decided to do is get a replacement one of these. Everything I've been looking up, I've done all the tests on this that I can find. Basically it's just ignition. You plug this into the car and you just check for ignition lives, which there was. So I've put it all back together, put the coil back in. So literally I'm going to try and get one of these. It'll probably be an eBay special. Right, well that's it on the Rover video for this one. Obviously I've done the investigation on it and I think I've worked out what I need now, so I'll get those bits ordered and we'll carry on from there. So thank you very much for watching. If you've got this far, I hope you've learned something from the video, and if you've got any comments, just put them down below. Right, I'll see you next time. See you later.